Let's party! Fire up the bullshit.
Let's go. We're live. Let's start her up.
Hells yes. Welcome to the World Forge. I'm Eric from the Hibernian Tales.
And I'm Chris from the Chaos Done podcast. And together we make the World Forge.
Ooh, spicy.
Very
Forge.
spicy. Well, we missed last week, so we have to make up for it somehow, right?
It's true. We absolutely did miss last week.
It's all my fault. I accept it. I accept the responsibilities.
Technically, it's your roof's fault.
Well, yeah, but that's okay. It was worth it.
Yeah, I'll forgive your roof.
It's worth it.
So, Chris, do you remember where we left the fuck off? I know we were in hell.
Well, we were in hell. We've been dealing with hell now for a couple nights. I think we were dealing with the abyss. I think that was where we left off. Was we dipped toes in the abyss. We didn't really do too much with it. I think we had conversations about it being a Dyson sphere and how it just sucks things into it.
Yes.
Apparently there exists a creature in the abyss that sucks souls like a vacuum. I think it was one of our chat members that aided us in creating that.
Yes.
And also that the abyss was almost like a labyrinth of sorts, where the sections of the abyss constantly shifting where certain demons have their dwellings. And at the very core of it was the big bad, I guess you could call the demigorgon of the abyss. The center is the gate to a moon on Unity, apparently, as well.
Yes.
And
we did attach the abyss to one of the moons.
We did. And during a lunar alignment, there's a straight line that goes directly from the outside of the abyss labyrinth to the center of the abyss labyrinth. That makes a straight path, direct access right to the moon.
Hey. That is, I think as far as we got, I think we only set up the loose structure.
Yeah. We didn't, like I said, we didn't go too deep into it. We just kind of dipped toes into it. We had a very active chat last time that we were live together, and it was fun.
It was fan-fucking-tastic. Like, be honest, it was fucking amazing chat.
It was.
We love you, chat.
Well, having the chat also makes it so much better ideas to expand in our heads, rather than just bouncing them off each other. Not that I mind bouncing my ideas off you or vice versa. I am bouncy, especially with this chair. It's been a week, my friend. It's been a week. That's all I can say.
I mean, it's been a week for me too. I had a lot of work happening on this that I don't normally, where I actually was at my paying job, not just working on
TTRPG
stuff, and the unpaid RPG shit.
Yeah, mine has gone on a bit of a side burner as my daily job has taken over life, and my wife's markets have been coming up, so trying to get her all ready for that. So the Chaos Den still going, like we're all episodes are coming out, but a lot of the social media has got on the back burner.
Yeah, I get that completely. So we need to do our first segment, and that is, what the hell is Chris drinking tonight?
Nothing special, to be honest. Tonight we're going cheap, simple, basic, and it's just a Sleeman Clear 2.0 because I'm trying to work off the gut, and a nice light beer is a good way to start the summer off.
Hashtag still not sponsored.
No. Hashtag still not sponsored. One day. And if I'm not doing that, then it's Grandma's Delicious Werther's Originals, because I'm trying to quit smoking. So candy is my culprit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You should try and find those magical grandma strawberry candies.
Oh, I have them. They're well, I don't personally have them, but I've seen them in our bulk barn. Oh, I'm gonna pick some up just because they're amazing. So good.
Yeah, that completely tracks. Completely tracks for you.
And are you hashtag not sponsoring us with Mountain Dew again?
No. Every once in a while, my lymph nodes swell because of Mountain Dew. Because I'll drink 2 to 3 of the 16 ounces a day.
Oh, damn.
And so my lymph nodes swell. So I'm at that point right now, and I've got to stop that.
Give it time to chill.
So now I'm hashtag not sponsored by coffee. Pick a coffee.
I mean, one of these days, I'm just going to start drinking like my Muskoka coffee because, oh, so good. And I need to start waking up at night because sleep deprived. But let's jump to the abyss and see where that decides to take us, because we really do need to finish our hells. We're going to get through our hells. We're going to be done on them tonight, at least on a surface basis.
Oh, yeah.
At least
then we've got to figure out what our next step after that. But
there's so much we can do.
There's so much.
It'll come down to the roll of the dice, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm absolutely
100%.
sure. And hopefully we'll have a chat that night to roll for us.
I mean, maybe. If not, then I'll
it's
just
an RPG stream.
We could always make our kids do it. We can make our kids roll off screen, and then...
You can. Mine, I try to make sure at least one of them's asleep by now.
I mean, no. I don't mean... Mine's asleep right now, too. But I mean, hello, Shades. You make them...
Shades!
You make them roll
welcome.
during the day.
Oh, yeah, that tracks. So... We've already gone through our... You've missed the who we're not sponsored by. The hashtag not sponsored. So, you've already missed that one.
We can make Shade sponsor us.
In fact, we'll call that... That's actually what we'll call that segment, is who's our hashtag not sponsors today?
I mean, it works for me.
Yeah.
Well, Shades, that sounds like a you problem.
I mean... Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sounds like a him problem.
Yay, we have our first sponsor. It's DJ Shades. I accept Shades.
We accept forms of payment in all of these other various ways, but I can send you a Ko-Fi link if you really want to. Not right now, but it'll be probably next week's stream. I'll have it all set up.
Alrighty, Ben. Let's jump into it, shall we?
Okay, so let's go hang out in the spherical abyss.
So the last time that we talked about it, like I said in the beginning, we had with the idea that the abyss was a singular plateau plane. It's not like a multi-tier the way that the hells are, and that it is essentially a massive labyrinth where all the labyrinth chambers and corridors and whatnot are constantly shifting in the same mannerism of the Hogwarts staircase, where it's constantly in motion. In that sense, you just have demons essentially constantly wandering around in these corridors. Very easily to get lost in.
But it's a 3-dimensional shape.
Yes,
because it's a sphere.
that's what I was gonna say. There would be staircases that would go up into multiple levels and whatnot. Up, down, all around.
Because you start on the outermost ring.
I would say you could start anywhere that you can find an access to the sphere. You could gain access to.
Okay. So I like that. Have you had a? It's been a while since a lot of us have probably had them, but the old Jawbreaker candies.
Oh,
where if you actually cut them open, you see the different flavor rings.
Oh yeah, it's like the rings of Saturn, man. It's great.
That's what I see for this. Is if you were to do a cutaway.
It would be a little more sporadic than that.
Yeah, of course.
That's very consistent, but I definitely 100%. It would be like if you took one of those balls and you tie-dyed the fuck out of it and then tore it apart.
Yes.
That's the way my brain's envisioning. It's like literally taking
a Chaos Jawbreaker.
Yes. A warhead almost.
But no. A warhead is the same color throughout.
Not the ones I used to eat.
Okay, the ones in America were.
The ones that I used to get as a kid, they were like rainbow colored on the inside.
I mean, your Canadian war crime warheads can stay there.
You never
just
know.
call them war crime heads. It's fine.
You never knew what you were getting. It was great.
No.
War crime heads?
War crime heads.
Oh no.
But they're polite. They ask first.
Yeah, they ask, can we severely mess up your day? No? Oh, okay. We'll go try the next one.
They don't invade without permission. But when they do, they will fuck your shit up.
But when they do, they make sure they do it right.
Because you never fuck with Canada again.
Yeah, it's only once.
I mean, people just try to fuck with America all the time. We can't have the same reputation.
Yeah, they just keep coming after you. It just keeps going.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I like the idea of a essential chaos jawbreaker. That's a great description of it. In that essence, that would be a great way to visualize it. Now, usually with demons, you would have your higher demons, your stronger, more powerful ones would have almost like domains that they would control, where they would have lesser demons under their power and control. We could still have it in that same mannerism where like there would be power levels of the demons.
Yeah, because it's still kind of the same, the strong rule the weak.
Yes.
You won't ever find any viable government structure where the weak are actually in charge.
That's only a human thing.
Yeah, but humans and humanoids become these creatures too. So
they do. So the way that I'm seeing the Abyss power structure is you would have, so everything is like tunnels and whatnot and like corridors, but eventually they would open up into caverns. So there would be pocket caverns where larger entities reign. That's where their dwellings are. And from there they are essentially dominating whatever they feel like. Like if they feel like expanding their territory, they would just exude their power to make the chamber bigger and start to swarm over more. So the power struggle itself comes into the caverns and tunnels on how many they can absorb into their larger cavern structure.
The one thing they always have to be careful of is the ever-changing nature, because
they could lose pieces.
Caverns can be
overtaken.
Caverns on the border of chaos rings. I'll call it that for the moment, because
abyssal rings.
Oh yeah, because we have a plane of chaos.
We have a plane of chaos, so it'd be the abyssal rings. That's what makes the most sense.
Can be split and divided.
Essentially on a whim. Especially like if a demon gets summoned to Unity and then dies, it goes back to the Abyss. Like it'll just reform. Yeah.
You said demon?
Yeah.
Or did you say okay, cool. Then you were right. I'm sorry. I heard devil.
No, devils die. You kill a devil, devil's dead.
No, correct. If you kill a devil on Unity, it goes back to the hells.
Yeah, it goes back to the hells. Sorry.
I was thinking you were saying you were talking devil. My brain had them backwards.
We're all good. So yeah, they would go back to the Abyss, but they would lose their seat of power. So if they get summoned from their cavern would almost immediately get overrun by lesser demons, because they're not there to claim it.
Summoning high level boss demons.
Boss man.
Such as, I'm going to put in like Lolth.
Well, I would even go like Lolth is a god, is a deity. She wouldn't like.
While yes, she lives in the abyss in the typical D&D sense.
She does, but I don't see her being summoned to a plane. Like she lives in a layer of the abyss, and then that.
I'm looking for high-powered demon lords. Give me a second. I
High-powered
want to throw a
demon
couple
lords?
of names in here for reference for us. If anyone in chat knows
we got.
a high-powered
Abyssal
demon,
lords, archfiends. Well, you have the Oberth lords, you have demon lords, demon princes, archdevils. So you have Miska the Spider Wolf, Demogorgon, Orcus,
Miska.
Grazit,
I'll go with Miska.
Miska, Obox, Dagon.
Dagon. Okay.
Halo Knight, and the Mother of Demons. Ooh, didn't know about you. The Queen of Chaos, her name stricken from history, the self-styled Queen of Chaos, led the... Interesting. I have some Wikipedia reading to do.
But basically any demon lord tier demon. So any that has achieved the rank of demon lord definitely possesses a power base.
They would, yeah.
Greater, lesser, doesn't matter. We threw a couple of greater demon lord names in there just for comprehension because they're known names.
Yeah. And then eventually when we go back into the abyss and we decide to rewrite a lot of this in our own homebrew setting, then it'll start to change into what we want them to be and who we want them to be, because that will be the concept of NPC building that we'll do at a later date.
Correct. Yeah. So whenever you summon them, first of all, it's difficult.
Yeah. So the way that my mind was thinking about it is this: if you're summoning like I can never pronounce it, like a Labzero. I can't say it. Like a lesser demon. That's it. I can't get that out. I can never say it. But like if you're summoning one of the not high-ranking demons, but not like a chase them, just something in between that does have power and would.
It's like a CR 7, 8, 9, 10. That type of.
Yeah. They would have their own little pocket that they would be essentially controlling. That they would be forcing other lesser demons to do things for them. Because that's just the way that the pyramid structure of the abyss works.
However, it's again another while yes, also no. If they report to a higher demon than them,
yeah, then they would probably be
left intact.
Unless another one from that grouping comes in and takes over. It was assigned.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's the demon, the greater lord then
knows
that
decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a DM discretion. How strong is this creature actually in this world?
Yeah, and then when it comes down to that, like the tiers of the demon lords, I assume for the abyss for us we'll be making our tiers, because that's something that should be structured and not so much in the DM discretion. Like they can add and remove things at their own choice and whim.
It'll end up being approximations.
Yeah.
Where it'll be like, usually anything that's CR 12 to 16 is considered a lesser demon lord. A normal demon lord would be 16 to 20, and then a greater would be 20 or higher.
Well, I guess my question to you in moving forward with the abyss, and even a lot of our scapes, is are we going to be using already predetermined entities in them, or are we going to be making our own with their own backstory, their own lore, their own creation? Both. Okay. Awesome.
Because both is the only correct answer.
Yeah, I guess you need a little bit of everything in there, don't you?
Well, because I say both because it also gives people who don't want to use our created parts a reference point for their own created bits.
Yes.
So they can be like, okay, well, a Merilith is a CR16. They put the Merilith in this category.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about like that as a whole. I'm talking about like named like Loth, like actual like high name.
We will obey copyright decisions. We've got to verify copyrights.
Yeah, well, that's why I was thinking it would be best even just to bypass that entire concept and just go straight homebrew. Since we're homebrewing the whole world, why not homebrew the core fundamental entities in these locations?
Some entities, such as like Demogorgon, I don't think is actually copywritten.
It is.
Is he?
Demogorgon is, yes.
Because I thought I've seen him in other various RPGs. But either way, we will verify copyrights and all of that because we could do different takes using the same name.
Yes, or even vice versa. You could do the same creation process with a different name, different abilities, different style.
Correct. So we'll take a look when we get there, but we'll go a little bit of we'll end up probably with just a smattering of
everything,
various things. Because I know there are demon lords and stuff like that. Most of those are copywritten. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they
Demogorgon is the one where I'm not sure because
I'm pretty sure it is. I think
I don't remember that they got the Stranger Things got the copyrights or not.
Stranger Things did get copyrights. They pulled copyrights from Wizards of the Coast.
I knew they had to for the final season or whatever because of Vecna.
Yeah,
but I wasn't sure about Demogorgon because it's a different Demogorgon.
It is, but I think it's the name. I think it's like the key fundamental name that's copywritten, not the actual idea of it, just because it is solely. And I think it's there's two authors that made that portion together, and I'm trying to remember who they are. I'll figure it out another day, but yeah. So. In
it
regards,
is both public. Demogorgon is one that is both public domain and WotC property.
Oh, so it's both.
Because it depends on what you're talking about. I just found it.
You looked it up?
Yeah, it's gonna depend heavily on what they are and what the creature looks like, the abilities, all of that, right?
How we're making it. That makes sense.
So, because like I said in first season of Stranger Things, they don't have any money to go get the copyright to start with.
No, they were just.
Demogorgon was a big part, but they gave a different image altogether.
Yeah.
So
I guess that makes sense. Okay.
But now that we got that one copyright out of the way, we can move on because Demogorgon is one where we were actually not sure. Most of the rest, we're pretty sure they are.
Pretty sure. But once we get to that stage, we'll do some deep diving.
Dive deeper.
Deep diving, yeah. In that regards, is there anything else that you want to add or discuss in regards to the Abyss?
They're hella hard to summon because it collapses their empire.
Yeah, they're not as inclined to be brought forth because, like, in your traditional D&D Pathfinder concept, most TTRPGs realistically, demons like to be summoned to the material plane so that they can fuck around.
Not the lords.
Well, not the lords.
Even the lords in regular 5e, they have a cult that they want to summon them, but it's not. They understand it's super hard to summon them in the first place.
Well, it's not so much that it's super hard. It's just like whether what they're summoning the demon lord for is worth his time.
Correct.
Like the Crystal Shard from R.A. Salvatore is a great example of that because they summon a demon lord to come in and be under the power of the Crystal Shard.
Mm-hmm.
but in doing so, he ends up getting killed and banished for 10,000 years. So that's
now it's 10,000 years later.
And that does end up happening. Like, you know, he gets banished and then he ends up having the capability of coming back. So demons don't like being banished, but they like coming to the material plane in order to fuck around.
Jaunty strolls.
Everybody's looking for Johnny.
Jaunty, not Johnny Strolls.
Oh,
jaunty.
Sorry, I thought you said Johnny Strolls.
I mean, like now Johnny Strolls is a person. Johnny, where are we putting Johnny Strolls?
Jaunty Strolls, not Johnny. Jaunty.
Wanty?
Wanty? So now now we have a monk.
Shit.
Now we have. Oh, okay, I think we just started. What are you doing? I was gonna say, because it sounds to me like we have our first like monk monastery creation on Unity. Or are you going somewhere? You going somewhere better with this?
He is Juan T. Strolls is the monk guide to the abyss.
The monk guide to the abyss?
Yes, he knows the abyss inside, outward, forward, backward, the exact timing of everything, and it is not chaos to him. He sees the order and the beauty that is within the abyss.
Okay, so he is a broken individual. He has to be broken as fuck. Like, you cannot understand him. He speaks in riddles and rhymes, and abyssal. And he's just twitchy as all hell. Like, have you ever watched Avatar, the first Airbender?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the character's name, but it's fairly early on, and it's one of his childhood friends that ends up turning into one of the lords.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly who you're talking about.
That's who I'm picturing right now.
Oh. DJ Shade. Remember his name?
Shades, did you ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender? You got some young kids. I'm sure you watched it.
I've seen it. I just haven't seen it recently enough to have the name figured out offhand, but I will have it here in just a second because I have the list pulled up and I'm looking for it now. And it is... Come on. Yang relationships.
Let's see.
Friendos.
Yang relationships? That's okay.
Boomy.
Yes.
He named his own kid after one.
Yes.
Not his kid. Yeah, his kid. One of his kids.
One of his kids.
So, Boomy. There we go. So, yeah, no, I do see him very much like
that.
Post-apocalyptic Boomy, but worse.
Oh, it's so much worse. You've been wandering the abyss for probably your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Why you're not a demon and corrupted? Like, I'm pretty sure at this point in time, this is the only individual that every demon just takes pity on.
Pitied and feared by demons.
Why would they fear him? Do you think he pees like holy water or something?
Because he's not one of them yet. True. After how long he's been there, he's not one of them? What the hell is going on with this man?
Okay, so what is going on with him?
I don't know yet.
Okay, that's our goal for tonight. We have to figure out what's going on with him.
We have to figure out Wanty.
We have to figure out Wanty. Why is Wanty so wanting?
So he sees order and beauty in the chaos of the abyss.
Yeah.
He is the guide to the abyss.
Shade says that he needs to share the ale.
By demons. No, there's only one place he gets his ale from. And I think it's from, I could totally see it being from the gods.
Okay, so the abyss itself doesn't touch the river, right? I don't believe it does.
No, it touches the lake.
The lake. So he could go to the lake periodically to go collect ale. He's drinking the lake water.
The lake?
He drinks the
Jesus.
lake water. That's... So Shade says, but if he's not one of them, maybe he needs to share it back with them? An offering, perhaps.
But see, I think he's on the outer... I think he has a monastery at the entrance to the abyss.
Like he made one?
He's always... The first place you go in the abyss is always him.
So
he figured out how to
gatekeeper.
Control the chaos. Almost. But he's also... Because of the chaos within, he has somehow figured out how to control the chaos. And again, this goes back to the seeing order and beauty in the chaos.
Yeah.
He's got it essentially mathematically figured out so well that the way you walk into his monastery. You cannot get around him if you walk in through the hells.
Okay, I jive with that. My only question is if... So he's capable of traversing through the abyss. He knows how to walk the tunnels and traverse the abyss and whatnot. But he won't.
He doesn't. He did for the longest time, and now he doesn't need to.
So we're saying that there's only one access into the abyss. And that's through Wanti's monastery.
There might be 1,000 of them, but he's channeled all of them into him.
Oh, so he's forced the tunnels
the abyss
to him.
Behave. Yes.
Wanti's the main lord.
No one knows it. That might be why.
Yeah. Wanti is the main demon lord. He's the original demon lord.
He is the OG.
And he just likes fucking with people.
Yeah, he's a shapeshifter, so he maintains humanoid form at first.
And he's also the gatekeeper, keeping the demons within the abyss, releasing them when he feels adequate. He's Loki, as Shade so eloquently puts.
I do like that. Which version of Loki, though? I see him more as Heimdall, though.
Yeah. Like, I definitely see him as a very twisted individual.
Because because of that, I now see him in two places. I'll get to that in a second.
Do you think he would also be on the Chaos Plane?
Two places. He's on the outside and on the inside simultaneously.
Twins.
Or cloned. There is a clone spell.
Well, there is, but I think having a twin sibling is even funnier.
And I love that they just have the same name.
Yeah. They're literally
so
just
people on the
just twins.
Outside don't know that it's him.
No. So the one that's inside is acting as a demon lord, and he is a demon. He is the full-faced demon. On the outside, he's just this crazed old psychopathic man. That just makes it so much more fun. Because then, whether they converse with each other or not is a whole other story. Whether they know that they both exist or not is a whole nother story. They may not even know that they're, like, related to one another.
I think they don't know they're different creatures.
Yeah. They have no idea.
No. They think okay. Basically, they share a psionic link, and they don't know that they have it.
Okay.
They just know each other's information without knowing the other exists.
Yeah, that could be fun. Oh no.
But that's why they share one name. They're both Wanti.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't know the difference.
No.
So one controls the gate to the moon.
Yeah.
And the other controls the gates coming in. He has full control over who gets in and out of hell.
Of the abyss.
Sorry, of the abyss. Like, that is nuts.
That's funny.
He is the Lord
of the abyss. He's the demon lord of the abyss. Started as a joke, now we're here.
He is the Lord of the abyss. Like, you want to throw a neither can die while the other lives clause on him?
I mean, that would make sense. If one dies, he would just regenerate.
Neither can die.
As long as the other is alive. Because ideally, if he does die, if you kill both of him. Now, I would say it's like a 12-hour thing. It takes 12 hours.
I'm going to put it as 1d4 days.
Okay. I was going to say
1d4 days. A little bit of chaos in there.
Yeah.
Could be 1 day, could be 4 days, but they both have to be dead at the same time.
Yep.
And you don't know. That's a GM behind the screen roll.
Yeah, that's unless you find lore. There's the potential of rumors. Rumors always exist.
Rumors and lore can narrow it down.
But like, that would be hard information to find out. Like, I assume on Unity or even on Time and Fate, there would be like a grand library of creation that would hold all this, like all the information that we're discussing right now, that we're talking about. There would be
in the library.
There would be a major library that would hold all this information, because creation.
We've already said that there's that Time and Fate has partial library elements to it.
I feel like
once you get past the bar above that.
So Shade says do a D100 wild magic roll if he dies, and I'm not against that, but
I'm not against it either.
I feel like it should be
Let's not build
bigger.
the character stat tonight.
Nah.
Let's not build a stat sheet tonight.
Again, that's for another day. This is just rough core build. I like that.
That is I love this NPC now.
I mean, Johnny's still my favorite, but
yeah, right. But this all happened because you thought I said Johnny Strolls, and I'm like, no, you didn't hear me right. I said Jaunty Strolls, so it went to Juan T. Strolls.
And now he's the monk guide to the abyss, who is actually the true demon lord of the abyss with a twin brother. So there would be Jaunty Strolls, and would there also be like, would you take his name and flip it for the twin, or would it be the same name? Same name?
They have the psionic link. They do not know the other exists.
Okay.
Because it's as if two people were born at the same exact moment on the same exact time.
I would say
opposite
created,
sides
but
of
I
the
get what you mean,
world. They were created at the same exact time on the opposite sides, one on the inside, one on the outside, and they were given this psionic link at birth and never knew the other existed.
That's so twisted. I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Your name is Juan T. Strolls.
Can you imagine being a demon lord and that's your name?
I think he had the reason that no one knows is because the one on the inside, who is a demon, changed his name.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is that he would probably have.
I changed his name. I mean, he created titular names.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he would have his own name that he goes by. That is his name that he has created, because, like.
Onomancy. He wants to prevent himself from being subjected to onomancy.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
And it's also why he doesn't know he has a twin like that too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was wondering if he possibly even was created with a different name, like under the the concept of not being able to know that he has an outside twin.
Yeah.
Because if all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're having demons coming in and be like, oh yeah, I just sat out and had a chat with Yanti out in the monastery, and he's like, I'm Yanti, that would start to raise suspicions very, very quickly. So
he wasn't born a demon lord. He wasn't created a demon. He wasn't created as a demon lord.
Oh, you think
he rose the rank?
He rose the power. So then, how would he have a twin?
He has a twin because the twin was created as a human version of him.
Okay, I got you. So he wasn't born a twin. He was initially just a single individual, right? Mm-hmm. When he took demon lord status, when he became the overlord of the abyss, there was still a human aspect of him that existed. Mm-hmm. That split.
Okay.
He went full demon lord, full abyssal, and then the remainder of his humanity was ejected from him.
Yeah.
That is what Yanti is. That's what's living on the outside of the abyss. That's
so
the
human reason he's
version.
Crazy
is because he's missing
he's
half
basically
of
lobotomized.
Yeah,
he's basically soul lobotomy.
Yeah.
Yet. And that's why they also share that psionic link and don't realize it. And the life link.
Yeah. Because if one dies, the other dies because they are one.
Well, no, not if one dies, the other dies.
No, sorry. If both of them die, they die. But if one dies, the other can be brought back because of the fact that they are one sole individual entity.
This is a painful dude.
He's gonna be a scarred dude too. Like that's some, and as an abyssal overlord, like soul creator, it makes sense that you'd be this disturbed and this dark. Mm-hmm. Like you'd have to be. It's the fucking abyss. Like look at Lolth. Lolth is literally the queen of chaos. She like literally built an entire city just to tear it down repeatedly and kill people, just to watch her people literally, well, not even her people, but just like the drow literally go insane for no other reason than to watch and go, haha. But that definitely, that would explain why you could have, pardon me, like that's why this part of the abyss I don't think would be tied to your standard abyssal planes like your TTRPG, like your Pathfinder, your D&D. Like this would be
your D&D. No,
this would be its sole separate abyssal plane.
Yeah,
kind of like we've done with our hells, kind of like we've done with our heavens. They could link in with the other ones, but I don't think they would. Not like the elemental planes. The elemental planes we definitely said do tie in with the other elemental planes, but I think our hellscapes are going to be completely separate.
Well, yeah, because those were created by that gravimetric dragon.
Yes. Whereas the elemental planes
they were I'm sorry. No, they were created by the humanoids.
They were.
The dragon created the Grey Wastes.
Yes. And
he created the neutral death.
Yeah. And then the dragons, they tapped into the elemental planes for power. Mm-hmm. I think they were pulling from the elemental planes to form creation.
And yeah. Well, no, they found a point where it was the veil was weak.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that it would be a viable location for a world.
For creation.
Yeah. It was a viable world for creation, so they plopped a planet.
And then the two just started banging and making moons.
But that's also why no one tries to... I think there's a... I like the curse of the throne. All who assume the throne...
Of the abyss?
Of the abyss. Must split themselves or eradicate their
humanity,
their fractions of humanity, completely and utterly remove it or eradicate it in some capacity, to when they assume the throne does it to them.
Yeah, it's like an automatic thing.
It's an auto magic thing.
Auto magic thing.
So if a human who was alive sat on that throne,
they could get turned into the demon lord. Their humanity would be split and removed from them, sent out to the outer rings of the abyss.
They join the monastery.
They would. Well, they wouldn't join the monastery. They would now run the monastery.
They would.
Because the previous dweller of the monastery would have to be dead.
I mean, to be willing to give it up, yes. Or they'd have to be. It could be that you could just banish the one on the inside, trap him in like a soul gem or something, and he would still, and the original would still be out there.
One of the originals would still be out there, yeah. Because technically, they're both the originals.
Because just because you can't kill them does not mean you can't trap them.
But in my opinion, even so, this is how I would look at it personally. Correct me if I'm wrong or if you think differently. Mm-hmm. If there is a throne that you sit on and it makes you the demon lord, and it makes you the lord of the abyss, mm-hmm. and it splits you into two, demon and whatever the hell you were before, whether it's dragonborn, humanoid. If the previous lord is still existence, I don't think the chair would work. I would think that the current demon lord would have to be removed, like killed, in order for the chair to activate for a new dweller.
Yeah, let's do that, because that's why no one's been able to take the throne. Because he's had the throne for so long, forever, because no one can figure out how to kill him.
He was the first one who walked through the abyss, saw this really dope-ass chair, sat in it without knowing, and went, oh, fuck. And then has just been it ever since.
He was the first abyssal traveler.
Which is why he knows everything about the abyss. Like, that's why Jean-T knows everything about the abyss. He knows how all of the tunnels move. As a humanoid, as a broken humanoid, but as a humanoid, still knows how the abyss works.
So let's do this. We now have something to source a name off of for these moons.
Oh, we do.
I'm thinking Strawless.
You're thinking what, sorry?
Strawless.
Strawless.
Johnny Juan T.
Okay.
Went to the moon, went through the lunar gate for the abyss. Stumbled upon the chair, because that's the only way to get to the chair quickly and easily without dying.
Yeah. Because there would have been demons already existing there.
There could have very well been.
Yeah. And they were just too scared or had never found the chair.
Yeah. Because they had to work from the outside in.
Because now that my little brain juices are going, the way that I'm looking at the creation of the chair itself is the chair was created based on, like, when the abyss was created by the three dragons. Mortals. Well, by the three dragons.
No, the abyss wasn't. The Grey Wastes were. Everything evil and good on the extremes had to come from something on the planet that believed in a dichotomy of good and evil.
Okay.
Because heavens and hells were formed by the gods, which we have previously stated were products of the humanoid imagination.
Yes, we did agree on that.
So because the plane of unity had people with brains who
Unfortunately.
wanted something after death, they then created their own existentialism.
Okay, so I guess that's the one thing that we didn't actually discuss is what goes to the abyss. Like, what creates the demons?
Yeah, how does a soul get to the abyss?
How does a soul get to the abyss? We never discussed that one.
But what do you think of the name for Strollus being the moon that has the abyssal gate?
I'm good for that.
Named after the demon prince himself.
That makes sense. The first demon,
so to speak.
The first demon king that went through it would be the one who would give it a name.
They would have named it after the first person to go missing on that moon and never return.
Yeah.
He gated to the moon, found the thing, and he's like, shit.
I'm not even sure
Never
anybody would
came back.
even know that he went there.
Someone
Or
would have
if, like,
sanctioned
there-
it.
I feel like, yeah,
Which
I feel like there would have been an expedition that would have gone to that moon, and then he found the gate, walked through it, and then they all just
Everyone
sat
else-
there. They sat there and waited. It was like,
Ellis was
oh,
on the other side.
fucker's not coming
He's not coming
back.
back. Fuck.
so Yan T was the first one to step through the gate, and that's why they named the moon after him.
It's like naming our moon after Armstrong.
Even though we just call it Moon.
That's because we named it Luna long before that.
Moon.
But it's like if we were to name there's 6 of them on this world. You can't just name them all Moon.
Moon 1. Moon 2.
Moon
3.
1, Moon 2, Moon
Wait,
3 and 4.
You could. So, the initial names for the moons may have been something that the dragons named it. So
Could be.
the dragon parents who made the actual eggs, because that's what the moons are eggs. They're dragon eggs.
Yeah,
So
they
could
placed that name in the mind of the red, blue, black, blue dragons, all those dragon kind on
Precisely.
the world that live on
So-
the back of the gravimetric. Yeah.
So all the dragons who live on Unity would have a different name for the moons. The actual names for the moons.
The
And
true
then-
names.
The true names. And then because they are entities, they are living things essentially.
Also, the names are draconic, and therefore people can't speak draconic easily.
Well, yeah, that's out left field. So the moons have real names, but you are right. Humanoids would rename things because that's what they do. They give everything their own fucking name because they feel entitled. So they would name it Yan T because, again, just like you said, he's the first one to walk through the gate and
So
not
they
come
named
back.
it after him and just called it Strollus.
Yeah. Well, would it be Strolls?
I did Strollus because they wanted to be fancier.
Well,
It could have started off as Strolls and then evolved like names do.
True. Very true. Stroll T. Strolts. Struts? No, Strolls.
Like there could be any type of name, but it's named after Wanty,
After Johnny?
after Johnny Strolls.
Yan T Strolls.
Wanty Strolls. Yep.
Okay, I'm down for that. So the moon that leads to the abyss is named Strollus.
Strollus. So, how does a soul get to hell?
How does the soul get to the abyss?
Yes, I'm sorry. We did hell. That's usually contractual.
Yeah, so the hells we decided were, well, because that was based through your five layers. Each layer was, pardon me, each layer had its own way of you getting to the hell, because you had mind, heart, body, soul, corruption. And then we also had your Valhalla. So Valhalla, you went to hell based on having a desire for combat. Bloodlust was essentially Valhalla.
Okay. So
We never
Evil
even,
gets to the hells.
we
know
never
that
even
part.
we never even wrote down actually Valhalla how the soul gets there. It's not in our
They're all
notes.
judged by the. It's because they're judged by the.
It's all by the Sphinx.
By the Sphinxes, but they are the ones who were evil and combat for combat's sake. They were combatant evil.
Bloodlusty, yeah.
Bloodlust evil. So we've got your bloodlust evil that goes to Valhalla.
Yeah.
You've got the 5 hells that take lawful evil, essentially.
Yeah. So they definitely created evil based on a system. Yeah.
There's an order to it.
There was a method to it.
Correct. And this is the methodless.
Yeah.
This is your chaotic evil.
Yeah, essentially. The abyss would essentially be you just like, so my question is explaining that, like being able to put that into words. Okay, chaotic evil, sure, that makes sense. But for someone who, let's say the first time that they're walking into a D&D campaign or a TTRPG campaign, and you're telling them, hey, if you're chaotic evil, you're going to the abyss. They look at you and go, well, what's chaotic evil? How do I not go to the abyss? What do I not have to do? Yeah, well,
step 1. Anything that worships the demon lords.
Don't turn a cult.
If you worship a demon lord, straight there. Done.
I mean, yeah.
That's almost like a contract, right? If you worship a demon lord,
you're going to the abyss.
Yeah. Worship a demon lord, straight gate. Basically.
I mean, like, would you if you worship demon lord, would you still go to the Grey Waste and then get sent here, or would that just be like a bypass?
Considering contracts bypass you to the 5 hells, I think they should.
Did he say contracts bypass you?
Well, but at the same time, worshiping a god of nature doesn't bypass you straight there.
No, it doesn't.
Worship alone does not. So you still would have to go through the Sphinxes.
Yeah. It's just, you have a higher chance of coming to this location.
Mm-hmm. And then evil souls that revel in chaos.
Yeah, I guess if you just cause chaos for the sake of chaos.
That's the biggest way. Let's see what else.
I guess being banished as well. Like if you get banished, you could get banished to the abyss.
But when you get banished to any plane using the banishment spell, you get banished to a safe section of that plane.
The monastery.
Yeah, right. You would, but
go to
you
the monastery.
Come back a minute later.
No, I don't mean like banished with the banish spell. I mean like you did
Somehow
something
a
wrong,
true banish.
like a full banishment. Like somebody opened up a gate and went, "You are banished to the abyss." Push you through the gate and close the gate behind you.
Yeah,
That would be like your utter punishment.
Go ahead and put that in.
Right? That's kind of the way that I would look at it. So I would call that true.
Yeah. True banishment.
So true banishment, being sent through a gate for crimes that aren't there. So essentially you've done something that deems something more potent than just death.
Correct.
Because really, what's worse than dying than going to the abyss?
Yeah.
Because realistically, you're just going to get torn apart and then come back as some shitty demon. What you thinking there, buddy?
I'm looking at the demonology here real quick of another example like we do with some frequency, just checking out and seeing who lives in, as an example, the Forgotten Realms version, to see how they get there.
Like how you get to the abyss?
Yeah. Yep. I'm looking to see so we can kind of draw from some inspiration.
Well, most times out of 10, in the D&D abyssal concept of it, depending on the creature that you are in the abyss, some of them are just made, like they're the creatures that are formed in the abyss from higher power lords.
Correct, but there are 3 different types of entities that live in the D&D abyss. There's the Oberiths, which are the things that created the abyss in the first place.
Yes.
There's the Tenori demon, and then the Lumara. Lumara and the Oberiths are the older things in there. The Tenari are the newer ones, and they're the ones from human souls.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out how the human souls get there and turn into Tenari.
Correct. So I'm looking to see how the Tenari get there first.
Well, that's always something that we can peek into after, but I do...
Oh, of course. The dominant race, blah, blah, blah. Their evil source warped by its raw chaos into manifestations of mortal failing. So, really and truly, it's just anything that's evil that revels in chaos is the way it's literally explained.
Yeah.
Embodiments of vice and depravity.
Depravity?
All Tenari were embodiments of vice, depraved inner demons spawned from the darkest corners of the mortal mind.
So you just have a broken twist. You are just a broken, twisted mind.
Twisted. Correct.
Okay. So those are the ones who literally kill you, but they torture you in the process, and they thrive in the torture. Yes. Yeah. No, that's perfect. I've got a couple Ted Bundy.
So, yeah. But you probably would have gone there and fucking turned into a high-level demon like that.
Probably. I wouldn't.
So
I wouldn't
these
doubt
aren't
it at
people
all.
who. So unlike in the Abyss, unlike in the Five Hells, these are not people who still have sanity. These are the criminally insane as well.
Oh yeah, these are the ones that went to the psych ward and they died in the psych ward.
Criminally insane as well.
Broken-minded, essentially.
Broken minds and criminally insane as well. I think that's a fair way to put it, and that's enough to get us multiple different types of things in here.
Oh, that would get you so many different types of people.
Our abyss.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The sick, twisted fucks. You've got the evil souls that revel in chaos. So the people who are going to walk in and burn a town just because they decided to burn a town. All your murder hobos, bitch. They go here.
Oh yeah. All your D&D players who are murder hobos that just travel through and start burning down towns and killing NPCs just because they feel like it. They're going to the abyss.
The D&D characters, not the players. Because we're not sending players to the abyss.
I mean,
and then true banishment, meaning someone gated. Because remember,
gated you, yeah.
Plane shift to get here. It has to be a gate spell.
Gate spell, yeah.
Because remember, we've already homebrewed that rule for
plane shifting can't happen.
Plane shift, you can plane shift from the Grey Wastes here.
Because the planes that you're plane shifting from have to connect.
Have to touch. They have to connect. They have to have a connection.
Yeah.
To plane shift.
So you'd have to go from Unity to the Grey Waste, and then from Grey Waste to the Hellscapes.
Correct.
Which would be such a waste. But you could
now,
gate...
if you got to the moon of Strollus, you could plane shift from there. Because it's gated. There's a gate right there.
But it's
on
not
that moon.
But it's not active. If the gate
true.
If the gate isn't magically connected, therefore you wouldn't have a proper tether.
But at any time you could randomly pop into the abyss if the gate's active.
Yes.
That is going to be a terrifying time to be on this fucking planet.
Yeah.
Because you connect Unity to the abyss during that time. That is apocalyptic level lunar alignment.
Oh yeah. Literally,
the demons are coming.
Once every 10,000 years, our planet gets erased. Because the Fae come in, the demons come in, everything just all of a sudden comes into Unity all at one time. That's why it's Unity.
As well, yeah.
Literally at one point in time, one focal moment, everything lines up and everything just wipes out Unity.
Oh yeah, like that's why the technology never got super advanced.
And that's why it never does get advanced, because it continuously gets wiped out.
You have to have something to reset shit.
Yeah. We have ice ages.
I mean, yeah, we also as humans haven't been smart long enough to do anything.
No, nor do we have magic that we know of.
I mean, that's true too.
I mean, we might, we just don't know about it yet.
But yeah, once every, call it 10,000 years, 20,000 years, or whatever, the whole fucking system just gets wiped.
I mean, if you really wanted to have fun with it, you could even say it's every like 500 years. Every 500 years, they all line up, the gates all open, and hell breaks loose.
It should be every draconic generation.
Draconic generations. That's a tricky one because it depends on the generation that you're talking about.
No, of the red black blue dragons, or did we say they were immortal?
We said they were immortal. Immortal, sorry. Dragons are immortal. They don't have that. Well, that's why I was questioning it, because like dragons in our world don't have a lifespan per se. They can be killed, but they don't die of natural causes. But we could change it a little bit, and instead, it's whenever a new moon comes into formation, like whenever a new moon is created.
When a moon hatches. That's when everything lines up, and then a moon dies, hatches, turns into a dragon. It flutters off. Yep.
Shit happens.
Celestial lunar phase.
Yeah. The problem with that is, would the gates then attach to a new moon, to a new egg?
Yeah. It would attach because the egg. So a planet of a certain size can only hold so many orbital bodies.
Yeah. This has got to be a big fucking planet.
It's got to be. So Earth can hold technically seven technically, but they would have to be about half the size of our moon.
Yeah, they'd have to be tiny. Well, no, smaller than half the size in order to hold 7.
So I looked at it. It could, with different variations, not in the same orbit. It couldn't have the same orbit as Luna, but within the stable orbital period, we could have 7. Because remember, we could have 3-dimensional too, right? Like
that's true,
they don't all have to be rotating and orbiting in the same way, at the same pace. But having roughly within the same distance that Luna is, I think it's like 150 to 450 1,000 kilometers. We can
I have no idea.
I actually got bored at work and did some research.
mean, it's not bad research to know, especially when we're
I
trying
wanted to
build our own
verify
planet.
about this. I needed to verify about this.
Yeah.
So, Earth can hold 3 comfortably. 6 is a stretch, but the tides are fucked.
I mean, yeah.
You're talking about 1,000 miles of tidal influx.
I mean, that's why I was laughing about Unity, is because we have 6 moons. They're all gonna have a relative. Well, we actually don't know. So yes, we have 6 moons, but they're not gravitational dragons. So would they?
No, they're not gravimetric dragons.
And the gravimetric dragon is the one that's creating gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So would
They
these
would have a gravitational effect,
Would they?
But not. They would have to, but
they're magic.
That's just
Do they have to?
If an object takes up space in basic science, it has
Basic
to.
science, in basic science, yes, but in magic,
But even a dragon has mass.
this is true. You're not
A
wrong.
dragon has weight in and of itself,
Yeah,
mostly due to the planet it is on, but it has weight. Because it's still being affected by the gravimetric, so therefore it is possessing a gravitational pull being placed upon it. So to contain that gravitational, to stay in orbit, it has to have a mass of its own on the fabric of space-time.
this is true.
So to create its own gravitational dip, it has to have mass.
Yeah,
So to maintain the orbit, it has to have some
So
kind
it
of
would have-
mass.
okay. I was just seeing if there's a way around it.
There is. We reduce the mass significantly because it's technically hollow.
Okay,
And then it doesn't affect the tides near so much.
and then having 6 wouldn't completely fuck the entire planet.
No. And we could still maintain it that the 6 essentially act as one lunar effect of tides.
And we can also pull the lovely magic effect of whatever we want because of magic capabilities of the fact that these are a combination of Sun Dragon and Astral Dragon.
And who knows what else those two can put together. Don't try and figure out that genealogy.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you're merging an Astral Dragon and a Sun Dragon into little baby dragons.
We are not playing Punnett squares.
No, you sure? It's gonna be fun.
If someone out there wants to do Punnett squares and share it with us, we will happily accept your headcanon of a Sun Dragon and an Astral Dragon Punnett square.
We await.
We await the punnets. All punnets intended.
All punnets intended.
However, we
yes.
can because they are shells, we can create that through some level of magic punkety. But it's just one of those where it's like, however,
Yeah.
basic physics.
Shit, I forgot how we got on this tangent.
Lunar cycle of creating the apocalypse, because
Oh yes.
phase open, shadows open, the
abyss is
hellscapes are open,
The hellscapes are open.
the abyss. Well, not the whole hellscapes, just the abyss.
Just the abyss.
But that's still, if
That's
the
enough.
devils managed to get into the abyss
I mean, it's possible.
and control the center of the abyss, they could get through then too. So you could get demons or devils, but the odds
you would have
are,
turmoil.
yeah.
And there's nothing saying that they don't make it up to Unity. Like some of the devils and demons might make it up to Unity and try to jump gates from Unity.
From the Great Waste, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, from the Great Waste. My apologies.
Because there are many many devils and demons that have plane shift as a power. So yeah, no, there are people who can just jump the
Lots of
gap
ways.
anyway.
And the fact that we already know that there is the river travels from Unity to the Grey Waste, or vice versa, from Grey Waste to Unity. So that's
Thank
also,
you, Johnny.
Johnny fucked all that up. Or opened all that up, depending on how you want to look at it.
Because it wasn't accessible from the Grey Wastes previously.
No.
It only became accessible after Johnny fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Because it made a two-way gate, a two-way portal that could just be taken. He was planeswalking. He fuckered shit up. Because previously, the only way to get there was dying.
Dying. That was it. Dying or a gate spell.
But Johnny wanted to go see fucking Steve and rub it in his face that Steve was dead.
Yeah. And now he's on the plane of time and fate.
He's stuck.
He's hanging out in the tavern.
And he hopes he found all the planes first.
At least he thinks he does. We'll find out.
The information we are talking is all Johnny's information.
Yeah, it's his journal.
This is Johnny's journal.
This is Johnny's journal. Johnny and Steve's journal.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Walker, Texas journal.
We are hitting 20 after 9, which means we got about another 11 to 10 minutes of our show. Are there any tips, tricks, and advice that you would like to give to our lovely listeners?
Oh, fuck around and find out. Always fuck around and find out.
Definitely.
If you are the DM of your game, let them fuck around and find out. And have shit up your sleeve that they don't want to fuck around and find out with. Yeah.
There's actually a, Ginny D. She's a very popular... Yeah. She actually had a very, very informative reel that she posted. I think is great information and that more people should know about and utilize and use. And she pretty much said that instead of taking your time and trying to plan big, elaborate things to avoid danger or to avoid the guards or, like stupid amounts of planning, because you're afraid that you might get hurt or you might do something bad or you might screw up. Remember, this is an adventure game. If you're doing all that planning to avoid the adventure, where's the game? Have fun. Fuck up. Screw up. Try something completely out of the left field. $10 says your GM's gonna let you try it because he wants to see how bad you fail. Or succeed. I love it personally when my players try to do something that's completely bonkers for absolutely no other reason than it's just something that popped into their head. Instead of sitting there planning for 15 minutes, one of them just comes up and goes, oh, well, I'm just going to take the crystal and I'm going to smash it and I'm going to go over there and open a door. Cool. So
I played a for fun game this weekend with... This revolves back into the fuck around and find out. I ran a for fun game this weekend with some of my players just for fun. Because it's fun not to have to record every time. But we were running a game, a module made by Cobalt Press that featuring using Tales of the Valiant, their new system. We were running that for fun. And in the module, it has a creature that is essentially a mushroom zombie.
Nice.
It's a straight up mushroom zombie. And my players, one of them decided to hop up in the middle of this town on the well and play his flute. After being told by 3 NPCs not to do it, he did it anyway. The other players on the team stood back, took cover behind buildings, and let these creatures just swarm him. Now, he stood on top of the well in the center of town. So he could stab down and attack them, but they were going to have a harder time attacking him.
Perfect explanation of fuck around and find out.
And now, naturally, you can already see this going the way it does. He was the first one down.
Of course.
You're a rogue and you summon everyone to you. You're down. You're down. Sorry. But the others threw a flask of oil and then started shooting with produce flame cantrips and all this kind of shit.
Try to light it up.
Yeah, they lit shit up on fire. He's like, I'm staying up here so it can't get to me, so I can be in the middle of this fire, essentially, stabbing down at these enemies that are burning. It was a great idea. These things weren't weak to fire or nothing, but it was a great idea, and it worked.
Yeah.
He only went down once.
Which is still an acceptable circumstance.
It's an acceptable margin of error.
Yeah.
But there were two druids in the party, so it was fine.
But that's exactly that circles right back to exactly what I was saying is try the stupid things. Even if your GM is giving you the hints that it's maybe not a good idea, if you want to do it, because it's gonna be good.
And the GM will usually let you because he's already broadcast it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, he knows it's a terrible idea. And if you hear you can certainly try.
That's them broadcasting it's a terrible idea.
That's the GM telling you you're gonna die doing it, but I'm gonna make it epic when you die. Correct.
Now I did have to roll behind this. Did have to roll to see how many of the buildings had these creatures in it and all that kind of thing.
Well,
they got really lucky. It was only one building, and that one building had 4. However, there were 5 buildings, each one being able to contain up to 4.
But again, as a player, you don't know that information.
Correct, and he didn't know it even out of game either. Like as the player, he didn't know. In game, he didn't know. He just knew there were more of them.
But doing things like this, it'll give you a story that you can take with you and tell your friends.
Just like this.
For God knows how long. You can retell that story so many times to your friends, being like, oh yeah, like I went and I did this and I fought against these monsters and we weren't supposed to do it, but we did, and it turned into this amazing brawl where we started lighting oil lanterns on fire and we burned down half a village in the process. Was it what you were supposed to do? No. Is it what the GM planned? No. Was it fun? Hell yeah.
Hells yeah. And that is the biggest thing.
That's all that matters. If you had fun,
having fun,
then you played a good game.
You have fun and have a story to tell.
And did you
That's the point.
Did you slightly annoy your GM? You definitely had a good game.
Right.
That's how my players gauge whether they've had fun or not, is how annoyed I am at the end of the game. And in all fairness, as a GM, if I'm annoyed at the end of the game, I'm smiling as well because I know I've had a good time.
Yep. I love when players just pull random shit that I only plan the beginning of a scene, and that's about it. I don't even plan how I want it to conclude. I might have an idea of what the characters what the NPCs would do if the players weren't there.
Well, here's a little behind the scenes of Shattered Memories. So my players had this exact same scenario happen where I was trying to end the episode. I'd gotten to a pinnacle point, was okay, guys, this is a perfect thing. Nice, beautiful cliffhanger. But then one of my players decided to pull something so left field that I did not expect it. I didn't see it coming. I should have. I knew he had the spell. Spiders in an elevator shaft. They drop down. They're about to do a big attack. He goes, anti-gravity.
Back up the shaft.
No, down. He did.
Oh, the spiders were climbing up the shaft.
No, the spiders were dropping down the shaft, and he decided to reverse gravity so that they went farther down. So I homebrewed his anti-gravity in a sense that he could make the gravity go up to essentially float, or to increase gravity to make it
you just made it alter gravity instead.
Alter gravity. So essentially he just made these spiders plummet down the elevator shaft. I wanted to end the episode. It turned into another 25 minutes of combat.
I mean,
I let it go because it was worth it. It was so good that there are some times you have to roll with the punches.
It was 20 minutes of combat instead of an hour and a half that it could have been because the spell worked.
It was 2 minutes of combat and 20 minutes of laughing.
Well, that too.
Because of how well it went off. Combat. Because of how well it went off, it was just too flippin' funny. But I do believe that's all we have time for tonight.
Correct.
We hope everybody who joined us and will listen to us live, and anybody who listens to us after the fact enjoys the show. We hope you come back next week as we... Well, what are we diving into next week? Do we know?
Yet. The hells are done.
The hells are done. The heavens are
We're
done.
done with the hells. We're done with the heavens. The gray wastes are done. So life and death is done.
Yeah. I think
so
we might be going into Unity.
No, we've still got order and chaos. We've still got more on the whole
the cosmos
structure of the universe category.
Okay.
So we'll head over to structure of the universe.
We'll do an overview.
Basics.
We'll do a quick overview and see what we've touched on, what we haven't, and then we'll pick one with a roll of a dice. And if you're in the chat, you can roll to see what we touch.
Absolutely.
That came out wrong.
I mean, if we roll in that one, we just touch ourselves. It's fine.
No.
I'm poking my nose right now because touch yourself is that meaning. But I think that's a great place to end on touching ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll close it off right there. My name is Chris. I'm the host and game master for the KSN podcast. You can find me over on the KSN podcast on Instagram. I do believe I have some stuff on TikTok, not very much. We're working on it, and over on Threads. And you can find us on Spotify and any of your podcasting apps of choice.
And I'm Eric from the Hebridean Tales. We are also on all of those things, as well as Heb Tales, HEBTALES. And again, Spotify. We are taking a little bit of a hiatus, so if you're listening to this show, go listen now while you have a chance before we add more content. Taking probably about a month and a half or so hiatus while we get some new content recorded for everybody.
Sounds good.
But until next time, guys, don't forget to get creative with your shit and join us next time here on the World Forge.
Homebrew, homebrew, homebrew. Take care, guys.